All right. Good day, everyone. Welcome to this webinar here together with Thomas Hesseling from Ergonode PIM. I'm Stefan Spijkers. I'm co-founder of PIMvendors.com, and we help you with any product data challenges you might have. So whether that is, well, a new PIM, reading up on the PIM costs or which shortlisted solutions might best fit your needs, you can find that all on PIMvendors.com. And if you might want to try out some AI solutions in your product data process, we actually have a lot of experience with that as well. So that is for onboarding, for enrichment, which might be the most obvious application of AI. We've done lots of webinars with different vendors, and I think we might see some AI applications today as well. So I would say if you want to make that product data process more efficient, please head on over to our website or follow us on LinkedIn for all of our webinars. Now, we've been doing quite a lot of webinars lately, and I think, Thomas, this is one of the first times you are attending. I'm very glad that you can make the time available to get together and share, well, Ergonode's vision on product data and see what you have in store. Today, we'll both sort of explore that vision you have on the role of PIM within the organization, and also the well, a live demo maybe of some AI capabilities. So I'm very curious. I've seen a little bit, so I would say to the audience, please stick around. There's some cool stuff coming your way. Before we head on over, just some small housekeeping. So we have a comment field here on the right-hand side. You can ask your questions there. You share your feedback. There's a lot of room for interaction, and I'll keep an eye on that for sure. So if you have any questions, we can weave that into the conversation, and I will ask Thomas your question, or I'll answer that right away in the chat. And also, if you have to leave early, we are recording this session, so don't worry, we'll send the full recording to you afterwards.
Yeah,
having said all
the
that,
slide deck.
And the slide deck, that's a good point. Thomas will have a slide deck made available, and we'll share that with you as well. Now, Thomas, without further ado, maybe start sharing that slide deck. No, could you introduce yourself and Ergonode PIM maybe?
Yeah, sure, quickly. So, of course, first of all, thanks for having me, because I really value our relationship as a person, but also as business partners. We've been in contact with PIM vendors for a while, and especially since we also launched our business in the Benelux region, and now also going to Germany, the Nordics, also UK, and this morning spoke even to an Australian lead. So Ergonode is going global, and that's what I do. So my main focus is still on the western part of Europe, and Ergonode has a background coming from Krakow in Poland. So most of the team is still located in Poland, and they manage the Central Europe part. My background is coming, I used to be a business owner of an e-commerce agency, and after I ended that journey, the owners of Ergonode asked me to join their journey and this road to tell why Ergonode is such a great solutions to work with, and that's what I do today. So do marketing, I do sales, I do partner management, I just preach Ergonode. That's basically what I do.
Oh, this is the right place. So you've come to the right place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, and so for today, of course, there's lots of things as we all hear in different sessions, keynotes, events. AI is everywhere, but focusing on AI in PIM, I think it's a great enabler for people who work day in, day out with a PIM solution, and how they can accelerate and their daily works, and also to have AI as their companion to do maybe the less intelligent work as well, and so they can focus on the things where people really have a strong role or strong part in. So that's what I hope to share you and the people who are viewing us, what Ergonode, what state are we at, and what can we offer our users and customers. All right. So let me do a quick presentation on Ergonode. If I'm right. this is what we tested. So we see the slide deck now, right? Okay. So last year we've been at several events, and we really think that a PIM solution, so not only Ergonode, but a PIM solution in general, can really make a difference in teams' marketing strategy. And what we see in today's challenges of modern e-commerce is that everything needs to go harder, faster, stronger, better. So customers are more eager to have more data before they decide to buy a product or get a new service in their business. And business owners require their teams to work smarter, to be more efficient, because budgets are under high pressure. So now most of our customers, they see that a shift also from the classic Google Ads moving to the LLM, where people are more searching for products. So it's very important to be on top of your data quality. Um, yeah, classically, when we talk to businesses, of course, because they are looking for a PIM, so they tend to have a lot of fragmented data in their own landscape within the company, and they say it's very time consuming and we have to manage a lot of data. So they are pointed into our directions. And if we take a look at a typical company like this, we see various roles within an organization. So not only sales, not only content marketing, but also C-level, graphic design, for example, for offline catalogs, and of course, e-commerce. And but what we see in a typical company is that there's different types of data handled at different roles or positions within an organization. Also, where the data is used. So it's used to do AI enrichment. It's used in Adobe Streets to create catalogs, but also, of course, in commerce or marketplaces. And Ergonode, we have a vision that we preach that all of our clients should centralize all of their product data. So we consider product data as a big part of the company's capital. So we encourage companies to centralize supplier data, ERP data, marketing data, product specifications, which you enrich manually even, or media could be PDFs, but also photo studios, which are connected to the PIM platform. And by centralizing all the data is just one of the important steps. So the second step in this journey is where we focus on collaboration. So typically we see that customers are when they work with an agency, they are already used to what they call a swim lane system, like from Atlassian, the people love use Jira or Trello boards. It's the Kanban system. And we incorporated that same way of working. So as you can see in this screen, we have, in this case, we have about 8 or 9 statuses. And a status is, and in each status you see products. So people work together on completing a product. Typically a product starts in the status new, and then by working together on the completeness, at some point, at some stage, the product comes to a 100% completeness phase. And that's where you want the products to go to your sales channels. Also, by giving a visual view of the status of product enrichments, any person in a team, so let's say from content marketing, sales, SEO to the director, everybody can just simply log into Ergonode, click on our Kanban view, and then see where products are. So instead of just sending out emails, what the status is, or having different versions of Excel in inboxes, this gives a company real insight of where we at. And that's what people value the most, I think, about Ergonode, is that we visualize all of the product enrichment parts. Typical place. So if on the left hand we have the input, so data is coming from the left. Typically can be ERP, any data source within the black box. That is Ergonode. That's why we enrich the data. And then if product data goes out of the PIM solution, we see it going to all of the sales channels. So for us, we are very comfortable in e-commerce setup where we connect to all the e-commerce solutions, and on the other hand, to marketplaces. If we look at our customer base, we see that our customers more and more use or their own middleware solution or market solutions like Alumio, Patchworks, which are also one of our partners, but also N8N or Make. And in terms of marketplaces, people connect more and more using these data feed manager solutions like Channel or Channel Engine, which are pretty known in western part of Europe. Yeah.
Why do you think that is happening, Thomas? So just a quick question. I mean,
Yeah.
Coming from e-commerce myself, I always found the mapping to marketplaces or external channels,
Mm-hmm.
and that PIM would only do product data, like the slightly colder data, sort of lacking, because you also want the orders back, right? You want the transactions and you want to send order updates, etc. It's not a full connection,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. So I understand why someone might put in a channel engine in
Yeah.
between, or a channel, because they would also connect the order streams.
Yeah.
In a way, a PIM is perfectly capable of mapping product data. Why do you think they still use middleware?
Well, I think for mainly because companies are really understanding what composable means. So they, over the last few years, they have selected various software solutions to do a specific task within their digital landscape or landscape as a whole. And zooming into e-commerce, because basically Ergonote could and also handles price data, but we are not a price engine solution, so we can store prices, but we don't do calculations. We can store quantity or stock numbers, but we are not stock management solution. So typically we see that the product marketing data is one source going into these data feed managers, and then also another important stream is the ERP data, where price data comes in and stock data comes in, and the data feed managers combines them both and then sends them out to the marketplaces to give, let's say, the total package which is required on the marketplace to do business. Yeah, I think that answers your question, right?
Yeah, no, that move to composable is I think an
Yeah,
important one.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and that's
Thanks.
also where we fit very well. So we are, we are still, let's say, fresh on the market, but some competitors, since they are afraid of us, they call us unexperienced and young. But I always say we are fresh and we are dynamic, and we have our technology is from the latest. So we see that we are also we handle very well in composable landscapes. Also, technically, one of our strongest points is also that we have a very strong GraphQL API. And as you see in most SaaS solutions, also like Shopify, Alumio, all of them are moving to a full GraphQL support because it's the way to go. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, so continuing this let's say overall change we see. So we see that a PIM solution can really impact marketing teams. So going from a week to days in product launches, and Ergonote really helps the content teams or the marketing teams to speed up and to accelerate businesses. And so that's where automation and AI comes into place. Um, as said, we focus on product completeness, and our status view gives you a real-time overview of what data is missing. So also in this example, The color bars help you to see where you are in terms of completeness. We address that in percentages. This helps people to prioritize on what products should we solve first. Also, we have on the data fields, we do automatic quality checks, and we have several what we call regular expressions to check the validity of a data field. So we check, for example, for barcode, EAN, is it a URL? Does the file contain a file path? Is it an alphanumeric field? So this really helps to increase data quality as a whole. I think another great feature is that Ergonode, besides the GraphQL, so the GraphQL only sends the changed data and connects that to the API key, which is created. But we also have the option to create segments within Ergonode. So using these conditions, we can create a sub-selection of the PIM, of the total products in the PIM. So for example, if you say product type is jeans and color is blue, then select, the amount of products would go from maybe 10,000 to 1,000 SKU, and you only connect that specific product segment to the API key. So instead of getting all these unnecessary data across the API, you are able to control that data also within Ergonode. And you can use that for collections, for seasonals, specific target group or target shop. So like in a multi-shop environment, you could connect different segments of products to different stores. And yeah, of course, like I said, AI. Of course, we have AI generation. So we use generative AI to, for example, to create description. So in this example, you see that we creating a description for the sales channel Adobe in the English. And I pasted my prompt, which can be from OpenAI. We connect with OpenAI 4 something. I'm not really sure, but at least model 4. We tested with 5, but it was not to our standard, so we rolled it back to 4. And but what it does, we get a tryout, and then based on the prompt, a description is made. Also translations. So for the same product, we can say, hey, if you have the content ready for, in this case, the Shopify in English, translate this to my sales channel Allegro in Polish. So everything is done on with that AI generation. On the product level, we can also enrich specific attribute fields. It's the same way. So we can generate content by using also custom prompts. We can generate content by selecting a bunch of attributes which already are enriched, and then the AI will create a suggestion. And the same we do with translation. So get the content and translate it from another content part.
I think we're
Our
going
latest.
to see.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Thomas. Yeah, I think we're going to see something in the demo as well regarding this,
Oh,
this
absolutely.
creation. Otherwise, I have lots of questions right away.
Yeah.
But I have seen some parts of the tooling before, and I really like the way you are able to like insert specific dynamic fields, right, and keep certain attributes consistent instead of having the model hallucinate. And I'm very curious, but that's more of a technical thing, why you choose 4 instead of 5.1, but maybe that is for a deep dive conversation later on. But
absolutely, and it's not a question I can't answer as well. So I would have to ask my CTO and product team what's the deeper reason for that. But
well, there is a reason why ChatGPT or OpenAI kept the model alive, because there was a lot of discomfort in the market because the quality shifted so much. So I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay. As you said, later on, I'm going to, of course, show some practical details so people can see it actually working instead of in a Google slide, of course. And also our latest feature is it's called AI Complete. And that's where we enable the user to do a mass completion, because some of our customers, they get large pieces of text from their suppliers or manufacturers. and they need to read and extract all of the separate attribute data from that large text. AI enables us to do that automatically. In the future, we will also be offering a feature where people can use external URLs, can be as long as it's public data, we scrape those websites and also enrich the platform. And another feature which I will be showing also later on is PDF file enrichment. So from a leaflet or parts of a catalog, you can also scrape the data and have your PIM enriched. And that really accelerates the day-to-day work. I think another great addition to Ergonode, and especially looking at the total market of PIM vendors, is that Ergonode also offers these automations, which are, I always call it if this, then that rules. Akinio calls it rules. I think also Salsify has an automation engine, but there's also looking at our pricing. I think we are one of the lower priced PIM solutions which have these automations in place. So that's, I think, also a very strong feature of Ergonode. What you see in this screen is that I've selected a rule, an automation, where the trigger is always a product is created or updated. And these automations are always run in the background of the PIM. So in this case, the grape attribute is set to Saperavi, then automatically the wine color is changed to red. The type of wine is changed to red. We set the taxonomy, or the categories better said, and the taste of wine. And so this really helps people. And also what the next step could be, since the type of wine is no longer empty, but we see that the short description in the Adobe English is empty, we ask AI to generate a description in this case. And again, as you can see in the right corner in the bottom, we use links to the attributes to have AI create also a dynamic content, because this rule can apply to many products at the same time. So, and of course, like I said in the beginning, it accelerates people. So it's not flawless. You should always check the content. You should check the settings. But it really enables businesses to put a lot of pressure on the onboarding part, where um, uh, products going into a new phase and you want them to be enriched as quickly as you can from new to ready for products or use in your sales channels. I think that's because there's a lot of more. It's in the slide deck. I will share this, of course, with the rest. But now I think it's better if we go take a deep dive into the practical part of Ergonode, so what we can offer. Agree?
All right. Yeah, no, for sure. I think if the audience has any questions, drop them in. I think especially during this part, if you want to see something demoed specifically by Thomas, this is a live demo after all, so we can do well, whatever you want. Might not be but you know what I mean. So if you want to see something specific or some AI features that you are well sparked by, or maybe some integrations, translations, let us know in the comments and we'll pick them up.
Exactly. So just a little bit quick of how our UI works. So if we go to the workflow, this is the workflow. We have the option to set several workflows. And it's all click and drag. So there's no need to do any development within Ergonode. Just as long when you start do integrations with external platforms, you would require some development. This is a demo setup of a workflow. You can also drag and drop the statuses around. You can see these green arrows, which are the transitions of how a product is allowed to move from status, in this case, status new, to multimedia adding. On these transitions, we can add some extra conditions. For example, when a product is allowed to move. If a product is moved, it's done in these automations. So because you don't want products to suddenly be in your sales channel without a manual check. So we can put a lot of pressure of products going from the left, for example, to the final review column. And then if the product is reviewed by the product manager or the product team, it gets an extra setting where it's been checked. And based on the 100% completeness and the check, the product again is automatically moved to the ready to market phase where it's connected to the API keys. That's how we work. Um, in practice, it means if we go to the catalog, of course, in terms of time, I have a basic view of wines, one of my hobbies. And what you can do on the left, if you go to our navigation, for example, you can look into our product attributes, our system attributes. An example is, for example, if we look for the Amazon price, I know it's in here, and I drag the price in there as a column. So I can see there's some data in it already. In this case, it's Amazon for Google, for Adobe UK. I can do inline editing, of course, and that's not typical. I can just drag it across the board. But I can do put the filter, put the price also in a filter. So I just want to show the empty ones. And technically, these are still empty because I haven't saved those changes yet. Won't do it today. We can also add system, for example, the overall completeness, drag it in. You can see the percentage of completeness, but also for specific sections. So all of our SEO parameters. And this really helps people to understand where they are, where they're at. The Kanban view, which I showed you, we have the image view, but this is, I think, of the most value. So let me clear this. So if this is your product board, and I'm responsible for product categorization, let's say in a weekly team stand-up or a daily, people can discuss what's happening in the protein enrichment instead of emailing, shouting, etc. to each other. So this is what Ergonode is about, collaboration. Okay, let's go back to
Very
the
nice.
practical details,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what it's about. So let's go to the wine section again. And
So I also like, Thomas, sorry to interrupt while you click
sure.
through the interface, the fact that you can add like price as a filter and as a field, so you can just like edit it
Yeah,
immediately. And I think on the Kanban board, I saw that you can filter as well. Like maybe it makes no sense to like discuss how 4,000 new products should be handled, but you can filter like to the 300 new white wines from Argentina.
absolutely. Yeah,
Argentina, yeah.
depending on what your daily task is or task for that moment, you make these kind of views and you do your work. And there's also mass actions in here where it's also AI embedded. But let's say a first practical part would, for example, to create a new product. So I'm creating, for now, I'm creating a simple product. We also support product with variants or group products. I'm making this wine, new wine bottle. I have the wine template, and in main category is wine. So now create and edit. Oh, um, oh, that's of course best timing ever. The maximum number of products for the instance is reached. All right. That's pretty strange.
It's a
Well,
live
then,
demo. This
yeah,
this
I'll just
happens.
remove one. Oh, okay. I'll do this one. I'll add this one. Doesn't really matter for the example because this one is also pretty empty, as you can see. There's a lot of sections in here. Little data, so the product is still at 5% and a lot of data is missing. So earlier I uploaded an image where I took, for example, I have this flyer, this catalog page, and it has the wine bottle with text and some details in it. I took a screenshot of this image. I put it in ChatGPT, asked ChatGPT to make a picture of it, which is a transparent background. And that's the one over here, which I uploaded earlier. Now I'm going to the AI Complete, and I'm using the PDF file. Now I want him to enrich my origin, so the specifications. Let's do ingredients and some of the descriptions in here and SEO. No clue, but this could be a situation. And I say next step, and I'm uploading the PDF file. That's the single page, and then complete product. Now of course, this is being sent to OpenAI. OpenAI starts reading the PDF and extracting the data from the PDF file. And as good as it can, it will now enrich all of these fields. And of course, depending on the complexity of the PDF, the length, and the amount of fields you asked to complete, it will take some time. But as you can see, I think it will right about finish now. Um, but this is a very great feature because a lot of people get these files from their suppliers or manufacturers.
I
And
have a history in wine myself, Thomas, and this is like the biggest pain is indeed you get shitty data from, well, no, it is a beautiful brochure, but you still need to like manually copy paste and
oh,
find the stuff and copy them from the brochure into your own product data model.
yeah,
It is a huge pain in the behind to do this manually,
yeah,
and well, it saves a ton of time if you can do this on a product by product basis.
yeah.
um, is this something like if I have like maybe a whole new set of wines that I want to onboard a whole new supplier who obviously in this industry doesn't have everything neatly in Excel.
Yeah.
I mean, the PDF is the only thing they have. If they have 20 PDFs, can I just upload 20 PDFs?
Well, it's per PDF file, so it's still on. This is, let's say, the first phase. So we're working on doing mass of these as well, but we also have, of course, some limitations of what we can send to the OpenAI to the prompt. And of course, I see it gives me some issues right now, which is uh, pretty sad, of course, in a live demo.
I know it just worked because we tested this before we went live,
Like an
but
half an
yeah,
hour ago. Oh, there you go. So thank God. Well, now it started to enrich until 26%. Yeah, so as you can see, the wine name is in there. There's a description in there. If we scroll up, more and more of the data is already entered in the field. Everything which now is green is enriched by the PDF. So this really, again, it really accelerates the day-to-day business of a content team. Yeah. Um, Another feature which is I think pretty cool is also for the same wines. If I have this one, for example, this one Rioja, what we can do, there's also data missing in here, as you can see. So we used complete with attributes. So I want these attributes to be enriched. It's basically the same ID. And then so let's do the SEO part as well, a short description. And then we say, based on this detailed description, which I got from my supplier, complete all of the other data. And it's now reading through this text of the detailed description. And this goes very fast, quick. So the short description is written, all of the data in the above is enriched. So and now I save. So this again, always check the data because AI sometimes makes up things, but it really helps you to speed up instead of doing all the click, 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 click. And I think a very last a cool example as well is this one
I mean,
where
I was just complaining about can you do this in bulk, but you're exactly right that maybe you don't want to do this for 50 products in bulk because
yeah.
the risk of, especially in, I mean, we all know AI can hallucinate and actually that has been much improved in the past 3 years. So I don't think that that is actually so much of a thing anymore
Yeah.
that you really have to check everything. Uh, of course, it can't help. But if you start uploading from these local files, I think it makes sense to like do manual
Yeah,
checks
really
for
does.
sure.
And for this one, exactly the same. So we have a lot of parameters which we want to enrich and also a description. And now what we do is we say complete with attributes, but it's the other way around. We say use the media. So we have, I want these files. Um, um, all right. Select attributes to complete. Oh, wait. I did. I thought I selected them. Where? Uh, right? So this data, lots of empty fields. Next step, choose, and then we choose the media files in this case. So my gallery, my main images, and this one is pretty cool. So I have tags in here. We all know the tags with has these wash instructions and manufacturer information. And then we send images again, existing images, which might come from photographer or studio. And then AI starts reading all of these and also sending them back into Ergonode. And it's pretty cool how yeah, AI is able to analyze images better and better and better. And of course, there will always be situations where it won't work, but um, I think it will just get better in over time. So now it's done, and as you can see, we have 26 changes. So if we scroll back to the parameters, you can see it's polyester, it's blank, half zip, casual, regular fit, citron. So the color is off. Thank you. But Decathlon is good. There's no color. All seasons, female, adult. So it's really pretty cool what the AI is able to get from only images. So investigating images.
Yeah, and I think especially on like these boring attributes where you want to have them for filters or you want to have that as metadata for search or for discoverability on search engine optimization or on even
Absolutely.
generative engine optimization.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, filling it in is it's not fun and a ton of work, and it's you have
Yeah.
to think about. I mean, is this a half zip or a three-quarter
Yeah.
zip or a full zip? Like, what is the actual term that you have to use? I've been
Yeah.
there. It's not fun. Especially
And
for one
then
product, it's fine, but especially if you have like 300 products, it's
yeah.
yeah.
Another
So
one
that
is, of course, doing mass updates. So I'm now selecting one, and then I say generate a product description. I can do names, I can do translations, and I can say, okay, I want to attribute a short description to be enriched in English. And then I'm putting in a prompt, which I've pasted. And then I can do a tryout. So now it says discover the exquisite La Rioja. So this is what I've written before. I connect to the attributes. And then I can say go ahead. And then in the back, it will start doing this description. And when the message queue has been run, the short description will be enriched as well. And so going a little bit forward, also in terms of time management, quickly on the automations, like I showed you earlier. So let's go to this example where if we set the grape to garnache, we change all of these fields in the Adobe UK. So let's find the wine, and then we want to do a short description in English. So going to the product, let's do this one. I have no clue if this will work. So we now you can see it's Rioja Cat, it's typical different. And we just want to have this to be a nothing there. That's true. Garnache, where is it? There it is, I think. Garnache, yeah, Bianca. Okay, so save. And on the back end, so it's now Rioja semi-dry, and now it's dry, white. Rioja is still valid, but you can see the automations have changed all of this basic data already. And let's see if the description is already in there as well. Yeah, and it already also created a short description. So automation, it's really accelerating people. And another cool thing about what we do is that we have variables. Um, and like yourself, I've also been, besides an agency owner, before doing that, I also was an e-commerce business owner. So I had also an e-commerce shop in men's underwear. And if sometimes people forget to change data on different parts in the application or the PIM solution. So in this case, it's set that the winery is a Baron de l'A. And if I go to description, you could say explore, and then I could say winery in here well. So now if it's pushed to the GraphQL, it says explore Ballon d'Hay semi-dry. So you can make a lot of parts of this content you can make dynamically. But if someone changes this, it's a Rioja, the next synchronization, you will see that on all of these places where the variables are set, it will be changed. So think about meta descriptions, meta titles, meta keywords, or automatic names. A lot of companies have a certain rhythm in their naming. So like hashtag season, hashtag color, hashtag type, and hashtag EIN, whatever. Um, but by defining this with variables, you get such a consistency in data. And so, like if you're becoming a real pro in Ergonode, I think people work with smiles every day with our solution.
I mean, I've been doing this so often, and then getting to, oh shit, someone forgot to update unique selling point 3 on this product, because unique selling point 3 used to be the percentage of savings or the percentage of the material or whatever, and it was still set to the old variable, or the supplier launches a new product line and replaces the
Yeah,
product and it's different. It's such a
yeah,
and also I think, can you set up these, like you now set it up in the short description with a um, with a dynamic tag, right?
yeah.
If you would create and this is a very specific short description with a
Hmm.
semi-dry white wine
Yeah.
made in steel tanks. Like if you would now, can you copy this to others? Like if you would have a
Oh, yeah, sure. I will
great
show you.
great
Let's see.
SEO description that you think works well with variable fields, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, in this case, as you can see over here, it
Yeah,
says explore hashtag winery.
yeah,
So if this would be, I could also just copy it across the board or do a mass update. So now I'm copying it to other fields,
yeah.
but we can also export this to a Excel data or CSV data and have the tag as a piece of code in that export or as a value, so that you can also export and import these tags again. That's also within the system. Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you?
So keeping some time for maybe for some questions. I think if you look at PIM nowadays, I see that people starting to see that it's not a tech solution or something which is required for the web shop only. And people really see that it enables a lot of solutions and sales channels within a company or an organization, and it really helps people to spend time on the things they should spend time on. We automate, we use AI, and like we said in the takeaways, speed and quality. Speed gives you absolutely a competitive advantage, and there's a lot of research done that if you focus on product data quality, it will of course have impact on your conversion in your sales channels. Um, we also added this QR code on the slide. You can do it now or later on, but we have a great ebook where we share 40 proven AI prompts for basic uses of how to generate contents for product descriptions, titles, etc. So it's also a quick start for e-commerce managers to use, and so there's a lot of more content on our website. Just as our pricing is public, so we don't do any things like ask sales for a quote. We are transparent. We are open. So the price is visible for all. Um, yeah.
Cool.
Hope
That's
this really, yeah, was up to the expectations of the viewers today, and give them some insight about how AI can make their life a bit easier, or their team if they are in the managing positions or business owners.
I think thanks a lot, Thomas. But before I get to thanking you and closing off the session, still have some questions, but I
Sure.
can imagine the audience also maybe has some questions. So if you guys, well, if you're not busy downloading the ebook, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments field, and we can explore them with Thomas live. if you maybe don't want to share your product data problems publicly, I have already shared a link to his profile, and it's probably pretty easy to find Thomas on LinkedIn anyway.
Absolutely.
But you can also reach out to him personally and and well, whisper your problems in his ear instead of on this public platform. Um, I'm still very curious how you see the development from like PIM as a cost saver, or basically a tool that costs money and then maybe somewhere can maybe save you money,
Hmm.
to this, as you say, strategic enabler. Um, how do what is your opinion on that, and how do you see businesses like going through
Yeah.
that mind shift?
Absolutely good question. Because also even looking at our pricing, on we see that on average our customers spend this take the advance or the scale license, which is either 10 or 20k euro per year. If you would put that amount of money on the table, it's still a lot of money. But we always challenge, and we do that literally, challenge business cases or problems with our potential customers. So as you can see, of course, the most simple business case thing is time. If we can prove in either a proof of concept in the discovery phase we do with our customers that we can really accelerate teams and help save them time, that's a calculation a business owner or a CFO can do. But I think one part which is very important is, and what especially nowadays with shortcomings in staffing is very important to take into consideration, is that you want to have your team and to enable them to work with software they love to work with. Because if you keep pushing your team to work with solutions or Excel files, and they are not happy, at some point you have the risk, of course, that they will leave your company. And I always say, take your average wages into account, add social surplus for the government part, 2 months of offboarding, finding or maybe even recruiting a new hire, and then 2 months of offboarding. How much money does that cost? So it's not only about the pure business case in time, but also about happiness of people.
Yeah, yeah, it's I mean, yes, it's a cost saver, and like the obvious cost saving would be to like decrease the team, right? Because instead of 5 copywriters, you might need
Yeah,
only one or two. But even then, as you say, it is also about retention and saving
yeah,
time and people that way. But I can also imagine like you use the AI and the automations for I would say the B or C segments of products that you have.
hmm,
The top sellers, or the specific um, products that you
yeah,
want to highlight, you still have that be written
yeah,
by your copywriters who enjoy writing engaging copy, not just
absolutely,
for 40,000 products every day, right? That's
yeah,
the problem. So let them
yeah,
focus on the products where they have the most impact, which they are already doing
yeah,
right now, and that the products that they would never get to anyway, let the AI do that, or let
absolutely,
the AI do the first draft, put it live so you can already start generating sales, and then have
hmm,
the copywriter refine as soon as you
yeah.
notice what the heroes and the yeah.
The some brands we work for, what they do is they have a lot of sales channels, but what like you said, their time and quality investment goes mainly in their own content for their own sales channels. So they make the best descriptions and titles for their own B2B or B2C web shop or catalogs. And for the other sales channels, for example, for a marketplace, because marketplaces, I never read a description, hardly ever read a description on a marketplace because I know what I want. I'm just looking for the best price or the best delivery options. And
Yeah,
but what you can do, you can just take your core descriptions and ask AI to do another version of it, and then just do a quick check, store it, and you push it to the marketplaces. So also in that part, AI can really help you to make different versions of your most important content, which you don't, because you don't want duplicate content on all of your sales channels. That's also where it comes into the place. Or translations, especially if you don't, it's not perfect, but if you give your translators or people in the company start to work with, they don't have to do the whole process of coming up with a description. They will just need to iterate what's there already done by the AI translation.
Yeah. Then maybe a more sort of strategic question, Thomas, is
Mm-hmm.
the world of AI is developing fast, right? So ChatGPT 4, now we have ChatGPT 5, even though it might not be working as well as we had hoped. We now have 5.1. So it keeps on evolving. How do
Mm-hmm.
you see the role of PIM in that ecosystem? And like, say maybe you find, or maybe you trained a niche model yourselves.
Yeah.
Can you integrate that through an API call in Ergonode PIM directly as well?
Um, um, I think you could, because of course our GraphQL enables our customers to uh, get data out of the platform and push it back.
Yeah.
That's one way of working. So you do the AI enrichment and ruling in external platforms, for example, within an N8N setup or within another iPaaS or your own application environment. Um, but also our, let's say, our enterprise model. So our basic licenses are all of them are SaaS focused. So it's hosted. You only pay a fee, and then you get the updates and SLA. It's included. But we have clients who have our enterprise package, and one of the choices they have is to host the Ergonode software themselves. So they want to do it on premise within their network, within their environment. We also have a mobile phone manufacturer, uh, which typically they will never integrate any US US LLMs. So they use Ergonode and they connect their own large language models within their private networks.
Yeah.
So we're also ourselves we are very flexible of yeah what about our position in the technical landscape at a customer side.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And we see, of course, a
Um,
lot of things happening. So we are testing with the other way around. If we have the product data, can we create images, or does AI know based on all of the data we have that it must be this picture? So instead of asking the users to upload images, AI tells us which image it is. So that's, I think we're getting very close to that one, and we're testing that.
it is. I mean, the it's great to be that platform where you can plug in these different tools. As I
Yeah.
think the world of AI technology, maybe in general, but specifically AI is moving so fast, and every week, well, maybe now it's every month or every 3 months, there's a new tool that does, or a new solution or a new company that does
Yeah.
the use case that a customer might want, like for example generating descriptions for a phone company just a bit better than what you're doing internally, or what the previous best in class was doing. And it
Mm-hmm.
does, I mean, for maybe for 80% of the customers, the ChatGPT integration works. But then for the fashion specific stuff, or the industry specific stuff, or the wine descriptions, you might want to have your own tone of
Yeah.
voice and fine-tuned model. And
Yeah.
I still think that we're getting back to more fine-tuned small language models, but let's see if that prediction comes true in
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
2026. And then you will be able to easily integrate that into your
Yep.
workflow in
Yep.
Ergonote. So
Exactly. And it's
makes a lot
also
of
on our
sense.
roadmap to have our clients the option to use their own enterprise key for software solutions, or so there's a lot of things going on that part as well. But yeah, still looking at today, and even when I'm at trade shows or events, you see literally the relief with people if I show them these features. They're like, oh, it's amazing. It would save me so much time. And that's that look. If I see the buyers or the managers looking at their colleagues, are like, okay, this must be something special.
Yeah,
So
but
and
that's
that's what makes me happy to bring solutions which really help people in their day-to-day jobs.
and that's exactly what you're looking for. Like it's the
Yeah,
helping people do more fun stuff instead of typing copywriting the
absolutely,
same description
absolutely.
into each Excel field. where they know that anyone could do that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it just has to be done. It's a shitty job, but someone has to do it, and
Yeah.
make that again a creative job, because yeah, there's lots of fun to be had in creating great product descriptions.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
configuring the right prompts in this case instead of creating them all
Yeah. And
manually.
product data is one of the most important parts, let's say, of businesses to grow their business. So it's product data, it's customer data, and but that's if you have those data, if you don't have that in place properly, then how are you able to scale your business? You will
I
always
mean,
be rubbish in, rubbish out. So
yeah. I mean, you're
yeah,
talking to the wrong guy here. Like, you don't have to convince me that product data is important. But no, but even now with
yeah,
shopping
true.
happening in ChatGPT, right? And the new buyer journeys and these models that want to understand not just the top level attributes that a human would see, but they also need to understand the metadata and the attributes that maybe might not be super interesting for a customer, because
Mm-hmm.
they can see from the image that it is an evening dress.
Yeah.
But maybe you want to like put that in a meta field, or in an attribute that is not visible for the
Mm-hmm.
normal user, but is visible for the AI, so that when someone searches for an evening gown or an evening dress in ChatGPT or Claude or whatever the model is, that they
Yep.
get your product recommended. Um, that whole buyer journey is changing to
Absolutely.
get to that level of data and data completeness. You either need a whole army of copywriters or product data specialists, or you need a tool that helps you with that whole
Yeah.
process and
Yeah.
with that
To
whole journey.
accelerate the process. Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't have to tell me. It's and I think, I mean, we're coming up to the end of this webinar. I think
Yeah.
luckily we have a series of webinars coming up with Ergonode in the new year, where we dive maybe a bit deeper into these topics and getting started with PIM as well. I'm really happy to invite you back to the stage.
Right. Great.
So if people still have questions, let me know, let Thomas know. I've also shared the pricing URL, the Ergonote
Oh,
pricing
thanks.
URL in the chat. So if you want to buy now, then you can actually go and click and compare the different packages. I think if you have questions about the pricing, Thomas will be very happy to answer those as well. We will be creating a recap of this, and with that recap, we will also be sharing the presentation of today. And that leaves me to, well, thank you, Thomas, for joining us today
Yeah.
and sharing this live demo, as it was really live, as people have seen, and also everyone who joined us today for, well, watching until the end.
Yeah.
See you all in a new webinar. There's loads more still coming up, and wish you all a good day and a good weekend. Thanks a lot,
Thank you very much.
and bye-bye.
And